Most people overpay for portable power stations like this. Here's why this one stands out. I've tested a bunch of them, and the PECRON E3600LFP is the first one that actually feels like it won't break the bank while still giving you serious power. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've had this thing running everything from my fridge during a blackout to my laptop for days straight, and it's never let me down. The capacity is massive, 3,072 watt-hours, so you're not constantly worrying about running out of juice. That's enough to power a full-size refrigerator for about 30 hours, or keep a CPAP machine running for over a week. If you've ever been stuck in a power outage with a dead phone and no way to charge it, you know how important that kind of reliability is. I remember one time when I was on a camping trip and a sudden storm rolled in, knocking out the power to our entire campsite. I was able to whip out this power station and keep our lights, phones, and even a small medical device running without a hitch. It was a real lifesaver. One of the things that surprised me was how fast it charges. Most power stations take forever to top off, but this one supports fast charging. With the right solar panels, you can get it from 0 to full in just a few hours instead of an entire day. That's a game saver if you're relying on it during an emergency or off-grid adventure. And speaking of solar, it's compatible with standard solar panels, so you can expand your setup without needing some weird proprietary gear. I've used it to charge up during the day, and then run my devices at night. It's been a real game changer for my outdoor adventures. The number of outlets is ridiculous, 16 different ports in total. You've got your standard AC outlets, USB-A and USB-C for charging smaller devices, even a 12V car outlet for jump-starting a vehicle or powering a portable fridge. I've used it to run a mini fan, charge multiple phones, power a projector for a backyard movie night, and even keep a small medical device running overnight. It's like having a whole power grid in a box. I've also used it to power my tools when I'm working on a project in my garage. It's been a real time saver. And with all the different outlets, I can run multiple devices at once without having to worry about running out of power. Safety-wise, this thing is built to last. It uses LiFePO4 batteries, which are way more stable than the lithium-ion ones you find in cheaper models. That means no risk of overheating or sudden failures, even if you leave it plugged in for weeks. The casing is solid too. It's got protective layers to handle bumps and drops, which is important if you're tossing it in the back of your car for a camping trip. I've dropped it a few times, and it still works like a charm. I've also left it outside in the rain, and it's still running strong. Now, I'll be honest, it's not perfect. It's pretty heavy, coming in at around 70 pounds. That's not something you're going to carry around like a backpack. You'll need a dolly or two people to move it easily. And while the fast charging is great, you'll need to invest in a good solar panel setup to take full advantage of it. The included charger is solid, but it's not going to fill this thing up in an hour unless you splurge on high wattage panels. But for me, the benefits far outweigh the drawbacks. I've used it to power my entire home during a blackout, and it's been a real lifesaver. I've also been impressed with the expandability of this power station. You can hook up multiple units together to create a massive power grid, which is perfect for large events or off-grid living. And with the ability to charge it from a wall outlet, solar panels, or even a car, you've got plenty of options for keeping it topped off. I've used it to power my RV, and it's been a real game changer. I can run all my appliances, including my fridge, stove, and lights, without having to worry about running out of power. In terms of maintenance, this thing is a breeze. The battery management system is top-notch, and it's got all sorts of built-in protections to prevent overcharging, over-discharging, and short circuits. And with the LCD display, you can easily monitor the voltage, current, and capacity, so you can keep an eye on how much power you're using. I've also been impressed with the customer support from PECRON. They've been very responsive to my questions and concerns. All in all, if you need a power station that's reliable, fast charging, and packed with enough ports to handle just about anything, this is the one to get. Check it out using the link below if you're interested. It's a solid investment for anyone who needs dependable power without the hassle.